Let's do something interesting today. Today, we're going to make some topsoil. I got a new toy. Well, two new toys. And I'm going to screen some topsoil with them. I got a North 42 topsoil screener. And we're going to power that screener using solar power from a Blueetti solar generator. Solar topsoil. And it's absolutely beautiful material. North 42 makes a great all-purpose screener. And in this video, I'm going to get into why this works well for me and other people with similar type of applications. But it gets better. I started screening with a gas-powered generator, and it was noisy. And with the price of gas now, it was actually expensive. Then it hit me. I have a Blueetti solar generator, and the screener's wattage needs are within the range possible from the Blueetti, and I just have a small Blueetti. Silence is bliss. Plus, now I can bring the big gas generator back to the house in case of a blackout. As this video shows, the Blueetti solar generator had no problem powering this huge topsoil screener whatsoever. Oh, that's nice. Let's start with opening up my Blueetti solar generator. And there it is. Oh, look at this. There's more. 4 panels. That is cool. It's got a wireless charging spot on it for the new fancy phones. 2 outputs, 600 watts. That's pretty impressive. Now, my understanding is to plug this in. I don't know if you can see that. The Blueetti is powering the topsoil screener. The deck is actually shaking quite a bit, but it doesn't create a lot of noise, which is nice. The thing about a topsoil screener is that you can't just immediately dump all the soil on it. You have to slowly pour the soil on so that it'll travel over the screen in smaller amounts, and the good soil will fall through and the bad soil will fall off the front. After you've screened several tractor bucket loads of topsoil, you scoop up the screened topsoil, the good stuff, and pile it off to the side so that you can use it later. Of course, you do have to scoop up and take away the tailings, which is the rocks and debris as well, or they're going to get in your way. The screener deck shakes like crazy to facilitate screening the topsoil, but it turns off with the flick of a switch because everything's electric, and solar electric at that. 65% from 85 or 88. This is my tailings pile. This is the stuff that falls off, the rocks, the clumps, what you don't want in your topsoil. There's still a little bit of soil in it, but you can run it again. So that's the material that falls off the front of the screener. You can see these big rocks fell off. Definitely don't want them. Little rocks, clumps. And here is your topsoil. And it's absolutely beautiful material. That's the screen topsoil. Here is the pile just from when I was working with you. You can see where the dark is. It makes quite a bit of soil in a short time. And this is my raw material. And you can see it's got clumps and stones. But it turns into a nice material. Now, these piles back here are my raw material. What I did was I scooped up about 3-4 years ago about 12 inches off the top with all the organic material and piled it up with an excavator and let it rot for 3-4 years. Rained on it, heat. And then what I do is I move it from there to here. And that turns it over. And what happens is after it rots down over that amount of time, you get a fairly nice topsoil material, but it's rough. So you need to, oh, look at this. Some poor little birdie lost her egg. You need to screen it, obviously, to get the much nicer material. This, I use the North 42 screener. And we started with a generator, but it was so loud, it was breaking my ears. And then I realized I have a Blueetti. So I put up the Blueetti, and it can run the electric screener when you have a nice day and you have the solar panels set up feeding it power. It can run this thing for hours and hours, as long as you start off with a full charge. This is the electric motor, and it shakes the whole screen on there so that the topsoil, you saw it working, you heard the noise. You can see that the birds like to seem to hang out on top of this thing and poop a bit on it, but that doesn't really affect it. Adds a little bit of fertilizer to it. What's nice is it even matches the color of my Kubota tractor. This is made in Manitoba, the province that I live in. It's a fantastic unit for someone that doesn't want an enormous amount of topsoil. Now, if you're needing thousands of yards of topsoil, this isn't the machine for you. You need something that's costing $100,000+ and has belt drives and conveyor belts and the like. This is a machine, in my opinion, for someone like me that needs to produce 100 to 200 yards, maybe 300 at a max in a year. 300 yards of topsoil, maybe 100 yards some years, just for, I have an RV resort. You can see the RVs in the distance there on the lake, the park model trailers, and they need topsoil. We were using raw stuff and picking it out. It was a nightmare. This material now for their yards is fantastic. I would say a small contractor or someone doing what I'm doing, or someone with a greenhouse business that needs to make topsoil, not millions of yards a year, but if you're making 50, 100, 200 yards of it and you're bagging it, this material is beautiful for sale. You can mix it with manure, you can mix it with sand and some clay for whatever type of purpose you want, and make a killing on it if you're not doing hundreds and hundreds of yards a year. The nice thing about this North 42 is it works with pretty much any tractor. I've got a small L3901 Kubota, but if I go up to a bigger skid steer, even a 12,000 pound skid steer, this thing will work. It'll work with an excavator, multi-machine, multi-purpose. So for what I'm doing, and for a small contractor or a small greenhouse business that needs to make under 200 to 500 yards of topsoil a year, this is only 8,500 bucks Canadian delivered. I think that's what I paid for it. Something in that range, give or take. Depending on where you live, I mean, delivery is going to be different. But the price is right. You can change the screens on it for different sizes of material. There's not much to screw up on the machine. There's very little to it. It just works. It shakes like crazy, and it shakes all the junk off. So that's my review of the North 42 screener. Hope you enjoyed.